Hey everyone, we are the Gratitude Girls.
The Gratitude Girls are in the house. Well, we are in the house today for sure because we have lots of snow. How are you, Lori?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I think we have sort of a worldwide winterland. Depends on where you are, but between you and I, we definitely have that. So it's fun to be here. It was sort of like a snow day, but we're still in the house doing our thing.
Yep.
It makes me think about what we're going to talk about today. Well, let's do a quick introduction. So while I know you're doing the techie stuff. I'll introduce myself and then you can introduce yourself. I'll see when you stop playing around with with everything that you're doing. So to our audience and to our friends and to our visitors, my name is Catherine Asaro Myers, affectionately known as Rara. And I like to say Rara is in the house. That's another story in itself. I'll be happy to share with you. And I'm here with my amazing partner.
Hey there, I am Lori Del Gradecki, and I'm in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, yes, I'm in Niagara on the Lake. So what we're going to do tonight, you're here with the Gratitude Girls live coaching and training, and we are here every Monday night. Tonight, we're going to talk about a subject called, how are you doing purposefully every day? How are you doing? Today's a really good day to ask that because so much is going on. So many wonderful, pretty things are going on where we are, and we'll stick to the positive. So, Lori, let's talk a little bit about habits of really successful people. How many zeros do we want to add to this when we think about successful people?
Yeah, think about that. Like, do you want to make $10 a month or $100 a month or $1,000 a month or $10,000 a month or $100,000 a month? There's people that make that, right? So how many zeros do you want to add to your paycheck?
And if you think about it, and we'll talk about the term millionaires, because this is something that everybody understands. There's a mindset, right? Mindset millionaire, there's a lifestyle, there's a belief system, there are habits. But tonight we're going to talk to you about successful habits that work for successful millionaires. We have discussed this amongst ourselves, and we have spoken to people who can say to us, this is what I do. So here are the top 7. I'll start with the first one. So how many of these habits are you purposefully doing every day? Think about it. You might want to jot these down. Okay, so successful millionaires read a lot. Being committed to continuing self-education is key. Read and educate and learn. Lori, we'll both talk about these topics. You want to do that so we can both say something?
Yeah, definitely. So I started probably 30 years ago, and I'm not one of those people that can sit down and snuggle up with a good book. That's just not me. But I read about 15 minutes a day, 2 to 3 times a day. And I've done that for like 30 years. So I'll end up reading on an average of a book a week. Sometimes it's on my phone, sometimes it's on my Kindle, sometimes it's in real paper books, which is what I prefer the most. But obviously, since we're not back in our normal home yet, most of my stuff is packed. So, but I just love to read, but I love to read in little 5 to 15-minute jogs throughout the day several times.
Right. I find that I am reading often all day long, and I do most of my reading digitally. In spite of all these paperback books, I do most of my reading digitally, either on my phone or my Kobo or on my desktop. So I believe that this is a habit that we can all get used to, especially if you're reading for self-education. Okay, let's talk about the second habit. Habit number 2. Think about how we stay healthy. Exercise. And think about exercising like it's a miracle drug without the drug. Don't let anything get in the way. We'll talk about this. If we let something get in the way of our exercise, then we are actually letting something get in the way of getting our path. And if we let something get in our path of something that is good for our health, how are we going to accomplish anything else if we cannot take care of ourselves? I know that you have strong beliefs with this subject as well, Lori.
Yes, I do. And the biggest thing that I have found for me is find something that you actually love to do. Like when I would go to the gym and I would walk on the treadmill, that was like, ugh, that was one of my worst things. Like I just did not care to do that. Now I love to go to the gym and get on the elliptical, but my favorite things are to like walk outside. That's my absolute top most favorite. And then here lately, my husband has been teaching me how to play pickleball. So it's kind of a cross between ping pong and tennis. And so, but I love it. And so we go to the gym almost every day and we just play pickleball for like an hour, hour and a half. And it's great exercise, get your heart pumping. You're chasing around this little ball. I do a lot more chasing than hitting right now, but still it works. And so find something that you actually love and then schedule it and do it almost every day.
I really enjoy different forms of yoga, and I took to this about 4 or 5 years ago. And I found that it really helped me to focus because when you're focusing on standing on one leg, you do not think about anything else. When you're focusing on different positions, you can't wander. Your mind stays right there. So, although I used to own a gym and I do love being in a gym with all the equipment, if I have to be in my house, in my room, on my mat because of something going on, I know I can do that. Just get to my yoga. So, thank you so much for that. Okay, let's talk about another habit, the third habit. What do millionaires do? They take time to get present and focus on the day. They don't get stuck into their iPhone as soon as they wake up. Don't get sucked up into it. Don't get stuck into it. Don't get sucked up into it. Take time. Think about that. When you wake up, what do you do? What are your habits? Is it a millionaire habit? Is it a millionaire mindset? And if you think it is, then fine. But let's go out into the field and talk to really successful people and ask them what they're doing and see if that's a habit that you think you would benefit from. I really like to read my gratitude from the night before. And every Monday, I start with meditation. So I do something a little bit different each day, but Monday mornings, I start with meditation. There is no changing that. And then Tuesdays, I do meditation a little bit later on in the day. So Lori, talk to us about getting present and focusing on your day.
Yes, I do that too. When I first wake up, I like to just slowly wake up and thank God that I actually woke up and was breathing again for another day, grateful for another day. Wake up in that gratitude and be grateful and thankful. And that's it. And just like a lot of times people say, you should drink a glass of water. So that's another health thing, but drink a glass of water before you do anything else. So wake up and have your gratitude moments and meditate, be thankful to God, pray, have your glass of water before your coffee, before your phone, before anything else. And just be in that moment, like just be there instead of, because as soon as your day starts going, it just gets so, crazy a lot of times. So just be in that present in that moment for a few minutes.
Such good advice. I'll give the next two together. Daydream. Daydreaming is not being lazy. It's important to let your subconscious, to let our spirits help us to envision the future. And journal. Clear our minds and journal. There is power in writing things down. What do you want to say about that?
Yeah, that is so huge. In this digital age, so many people, like their gratitude, they take notes digitally, which I do. I love to do that. But I also think it's so huge on journaling and writing stuff down. It just helps you. And it helps you to get into that daydreaming of thinking of what you want to do. And it kind of like, as you write it down, it like writes it into your subconscious also.
Let's talk about the next two. Express gratitude for everything in our lives, in their lives. Be purposeful about this. Set a time every day to write down what you are thankful for in detail. And number 7, expand your network. Who is it really who you know or not? Oh my goodness. It really is who you know, not who you know that makes a difference, not what you know that makes a difference. Well, that's really funny. This is live, so we cannot edit this out. So I'll do it again. It really is who you know, not what you know that makes a difference.
Yes, and that is huge. And like we always teach and coach about, write down in your gratitude journal every day 5 things specific and in detail that you're thankful and grateful for that happened that day, because that's hugely important. And especially when you have those bad days, it's great to reflect on those and it helps to lift yourself back up. And then get to know people, because anything that you want in life, you get through other people. Referrals, it's so huge. Like, who even checks Google or Yahoo or a phone book anymore nowadays, right? You need, when I needed a guy to come trim our trees, what do? You ask on social media, right? You ask in your tribe of people who's got a tree guy. We got a great guy. I did the same thing when we got a guy to work on our house, and we got a great guy. And so always looking for referrals. And if you expand your network, you can have endless referrals that way.
So it's who you know. We're going to wrap this up tonight with those 7 tips, those 7 habits, and let's talk 30 seconds on how people can get with us, because we're going to go in our private dining room now.
Yes, so we are fixing to go into our private dining room. So if you don't know about that, go to gratitudegirls.com/coaching. You can read all about that there and how you can come join us. Also, if you do have any other questions, you can go to facebook.com/gratitudegirls, like our page there and click to send us a message there. Ask us whatever your questions are that you have, and we will get back with you.
Awesome. And we'll see you next Monday night, same time.
Same place. See you next time, guys.
Good night.